Today we're hitting up firing range to check out 25 different angles you can use to get the drop on your opponents. We'll go over some cool ways to peek like jump peeks and slide cancels, and how you can use movement to your advantage. If you're into this kind of stuff and want to see more maps, let me know which one you want me to cover next. Alright, let's start with some sneaky sniper angles. This first angle right here is typically used for retaking the A bomb site coming from CT spawn. So you can have multiple takes in regards to this angle. You can either hop up on this small wooden platform, or you can try to line up from here. Look at this, 2 brown dots. Then you can jump from here. This spot here is more about having a better approach on a possible sniper on command center. So instead of like going out in the open directly or coming from this middle lane and then sliding to take the challenge, which obviously in some way, if the enemy sniper is faster than you, then you'd be put into more of a disadvantage. But if you take it from here, from this side, you won't really get spotted from the player on command center. And then what you do is prone here, and then once you're prone, you just try to line up as much as you can, and then you take the shot right out there. This next angle is coming from trailer down to the red-green car on the middle lane. So the reason why I prefer to peek in this angle more is due to the fact that most of the time, the enemy sniper on the green car is most likely going to be aiming towards this direction. Whereas you see, through this small gap on the window, it's just much more unexpected. But having time, and then you can try to toss it up between you want to peek from this angle or this angle. But if ever you do want to peek from this angle, make sure in some way that you're coming off from a slide. You got to utilize the desync in some way, like a slide cancel, or come out from like a prone to try to level your crosshair as much as you can, and then go for the shot. Up next, this angle here is arguably the most common, but I see it mostly used as well, especially in the pro scene, and mostly utilized, of course, in search and destroy. This post-plant position where you kind of have this like jump shot out in the open. You can either use this for offense as well, especially because, you know, typically in search and destroy, there's going to be a small box that can be utilized by the defender. But using this jump peek position kind of makes it harder for the enemy team to actually get some pickoffs. As you all know, once again, in regards to desync, jump peeking is really there to exploit an advantage, all because of desync. Another angle that you can play from in this area right here could also be checking out Steel House. There's this existing angle that was widely used back then but sometimes forgotten, and you can get a pretty quick and easy shot, especially if the sniper on the other side is not going to be aware that this angle is being utilized. This next angle here, you can use it when you start off the round, or whether you want to check mid-round if there's going to be anyone on top wooden. It's just by hopping up here and then going for a simple jump shot. Coming from this angle, now moving on, there's also another angle that you can play out from Steel House, and that is when you're trying to watch a mid-cross towards the side, where someone's going to be planning or holding this god heady. Typically, once again, search and destroy, there's going to be this box right here. And then you can utilize this small jump peek here on the window side. You can play from here, which is going to be kind of risky because you're way out in the open. But if you have a firm hold on where the majority of the enemy team is at, you can play this position. For this next angle, you can play in two ways as well. Either you hop up on top of the roof or on the hood. If you want to play on the hood, this is where you kind of have to do some jump shots. Much harder to hit, but it does take a bit more timing. So if you just want to hold down the angle, you can play on the roof, and then you can take the shot from here, and I can only go for this shot. This next angle right here is more of a gamble, but typically the timing for this is that once the round starts, you can take this challenge in some way because the timing comes in pretty closely. So once you peek here, you're most likely going to be expecting the enemy sniper or whoever is going to be on the other side to be there as well. So the way that I just play this usually is that when I slide, I want to make sure that I end in like the middle and in some way just lean a bit to the right, just so if ever, let's see, I get overwhelmed, I could disengage really quickly. But at the same time, if there's like enough angle as well, where it's not going to be hard. The most important thing about this peak here is your crosshair placement. You got to maintain it to be level on the torso, as you get to see here. This angle might just be the trickiest because it will take a bit of time to practice. This is one of the times where I kind of advise to try to lean towards more of a jump shot, where I align myself up somewhere around here, and I'd take the jump shot from here and try to aim down, get my crosshair placement right, and then take a shot. Next here is sort of risky in some way, but in order to avoid as much contact, you kind of want to slide to this part of the map and then just aim down and go for the shot right after. Moving over to this angle right here, if ever, let's say you see your teammates give off information that there's going to be like a lot of players on that A bomb site. Typically, it might just be an A push, and then you'll want to push up towards here. The first thing that kind of gets missed out on is the fact that you can get a pretty nice angle if ever anyone's going to be holding that part of the map there behind wooden. And if I really don't see anyone, you can go for a clear out slowly, or if you want, you can go for a commitment and go for the slide. But then again, it wouldn't be too bad as well, like if you want to just slowly peek this one by one. And again, like with every angle, you can shoulder peek it if you see a clear shot on anyone. Or if you want to take the gamble, you can just slide and go for the shot like that. But this one right here is rarely utilized, so feel free to use it if ever. This one can come in pretty handy as well if ever you're trying to clear out the backside, and if you all don't really want to utilize this much smoke and just play for pickoffs. Or granted, if there's gonna be like a call already, or even you as a sniper spots the bomb site like already cleared, you can utilize this part of the car and then aim down and then go for like a jump shot. And you get to see there's like angle from here and on the entrance of the command center. Now let's move on to some assault rifle angles. This next one here is not necessarily a way you can peek with an AR, but you can use this spot to catch your enemy off guard. So from here, you can peek out towards the trailer side, or if you want, you can take this a bit of a finicky position, which is basically jumping on the side and then crouching, and then waiting for your enemy to come to push from the trailer. What you do is hop up here, probably, and then push up here. Just peek a little bit and go for the kill. And when you decide to push towards the B bomb site, particularly, the setup that you would want to have is a sniper to push alongside you if you're an AR to try to take this challenge towards triple box. So what you'd kind of want to do is, obviously, you want to have one shotgun or SMG to push towards this connector or the small room. And after that, you slide out to take the challenge and then have a sniper be prepared to either go for a double challenge or a refrag. And you don't really have to do anything too fancy, but one way is to just slide and go for the commitment off the spray down. This angle here can be utilized more if you're trying to provide more coverage for an SMG player that typically doesn't really have the best gun to take on fights from headies. I'd recommend it would be like an Odin, let's say, or any AR that has really good high headshot percentage. So when you're pushing up towards a bomb site, you kind of have to slide around here to get the fight on barrels. It goes something like this. Now this next angle, you can have a sniper from around here to hold this angle while you try to push up. So you can freely take the gunfight in the small room when you make the cross. So you kind of want to slide a bit further where you can go for a quick peek like that. Alright, let's switch it up and check out some SMG action. Next one right here utilizes a smoke once again. And it's more about using the smoke to like smoke off that area, part of the map here. This right here, you can take the gunfight freely without worrying about a possible sniper watching from command center. So how you want to play this is more about just a typical lineup to smoke off barrels, and after that, engage in a gunfight. And while you're engaging against the player inside of the site, you kind of have to utilize these semi-head glitches. And if you want to go for a wide swing, try to utilize the steel wall as well. Moving up here towards the B-bomb site, if you want to enter on the outer part of the site, typically the setup would consist of a sniper and AR playing around here and holding triple box for you as you get closer. You're gonna be the one closing out the distance. And once you peek out here, you don't necessarily have to go for a slide, but more about like taking the fight, moving quicker, than going for a hip fire. This next part here is a possible take on holding the A-bomb site, coming from the offensive side when you have the bomb planted. You can just play around here on the staircase, and then you want to wait for possible information to come from a teammate from steel or like a long. Or it could even be trailer. And then when the timing is right, if you can hear if they're going to be committing, you can go for like a slide out, or you can just peep out and commit to the spray down. Next up as well is the steel wall hold for an SMG. You could also use an AR for this one because there's a bit of range here. So typically how do you want to play this is if you have a player from the back supporting you, ensuring no one's going to be flanking, possibly a sniper. And then the best part about this is that you can disengage from gunfire pretty quickly by just proning. So if you do get overwhelmed from the gunfight, you can have a teammate at the back to support you as well. Then yeah, I mean if you get information that they're pushing out towards the A-bomb site unexpectedly, you could just peep out and go for a spray down. One finicky spot that tends to work time and time again, and then since it's sort of like an off angle, it's going to be just hiding behind this target right here. And then when you get some information that your teammate inside of the site itself is actually like taking some gunfights, you can strafe left and right here. It's a pretty risky spot, but if done right, then you might be able to pick off a kill or two. Moving on to shotguns when entering the B-bomb site. Typically, a shotgun or an SMG is used in this area to break through from. And then typically, obviously, you want to kind of slide before you actually hit the door frame, somewhere around here. You can get a wide slide, and then it would be better if you can go for a slide cancel. But then you just go for the shot. Another thing as well, if ever you do miss your first shot, you can go for a jump slide back. I don't know what you call it, but something like this. This right here, you kind of need to smoke. So basically what you gotta do is at the start of the round, you gotta throw your mid-smoke grenade. And then after that, you gotta make the cross here, hug the side of the frame, but you gotta do it quick. And somehow you gotta do it in one motion. And then once you barge in, you have to hug this wall as quick as you can, and then go for a jump ADS shot. Now on the other side, in the inner part of the A-bomb site, still the same location in trailer. This is a bit more tricky this time around because you got to learn how to slide and jump away from the frame, going back to the site. So basically you gotta practice doing this motion here. And then let's say if you get shot here on the right side, then that's the time you can go for the commitment. Then you're doing exactly the same thing as well here if you want to go for a commitment on the other side of the pillar. So, you've mastered those pro angles. Now it's time to step up your game even further. Want to know the secrets of the pros? Click the video on the left to discover 11 things they do that you probably don't. Trust me, these are game changers.